in honor of Feeding Tube Awareness Week, I will be giving y'all some feeding tube tips I've found along the way. Good Monday morning, everyone. I just did my weekly port needle change, and y'all may notice the wings of this needle are yellow instead of black like they usually are, and that's because I asked for a different size in needles this week for my home health company. Usually I use a 22 gauge 3/4 inch, but when I was in the hospital they used a 20 gauge, which is a size up, and I really liked it because with the 22 gauge, although the needle's smaller, there was a lot more resistance when flushing, but with the 20 gauge it like flushes so easily. I don't know, just it feels so much nicer. So I think I'm gonna stick with the 20 gauge, and the stick, like poking myself with it didn't really hurt that much more. So okay y'all, I just did something I am quite pleased with. So today's February 5th, which officially marks the beginning of Feeding Tube Awareness Week 2018, and I just made a video specifically for Feeding Tube Awareness Week. In the video I talk about how I live my best possible life with the feeding tube, and I'll put a link to it in the description. What I think is really cool is that Kate Farms, which as y'all may know, they are the supplier for my formula, which I'm very grateful for because my body does very well on it. But anyways, they are hosting a contest to help spread awareness during Feeding Tube Awareness Week. And basically you can submit a video like what I made, or a photo or an essay explaining how you live your best possible life with a feeding tube. And I'll put another link in the description for more info on the contest. Kate Farms also recently did an article on me, which I thought was so sweet, and I am very humbled by it. If you want to check it out, I'll also just look in the description, there's lots of links. Alrighty, I've got my infusion going and my feeds. I purposely did not put it in my little backpack because, one, when I did my Feeding Tube Awareness Week video, I wanted to show like my feeds and the setup and stuff, and then I just got lazy and didn't put it back in the backpack. But also two, I thought I'd be more inclined to stay in one spot and rest if I'm not as portable with my backpack. Does that make sense? Like, this morning was really rough for me because I had a lot of pain with my J stoma. I looked at it and I don't know if it's getting worse, but it's definitely hurting more. It's just, the stoma is stretching and tearing because I really feel like it's the weight of the dangler tube there and just my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome making me prone to this sort of thing. But good news, I was able to get in with my surgeon tomorrow morning, and then I also have another doctor appointment in the afternoon to see my pain management doctor, and he's an hour and a half away. And I would cancel, but unless I go see him, I can't schedule my next ketamine and Toradol joint injection procedures, and I already had to miss my last one because it was too close to my J-tube surgery, and I really needed to get that scheduled. Plus I have some important things to talk to him about in person. So tomorrow's a busy day when all my body wants to do is rest, so that's why today I am going to rest as much as possible to prepare for tomorrow. But in honor of Feeding Tube Awareness Week, I will be giving y'all some feeding tube tips I've found along the way and some cool facts and whatever else just to spread the awareness. But for right now, I'm gonna rest. Alright y'all, well that was a lot of beeping. I like to call it a symphony, or like the sound of my people. Right, Harlow? Yeah, we're used to the beeping. I had a kink in my feeding tube and the infusion had run out of batteries, but all is good. Before I hook up to my next infusion bag, I'm gonna take a quick break and show y'all some tubey hacks I have. And I just can't get over how much easier it is to flush with the bigger needle. It's just like, no resistance. Port life. Okay, anyways. One of my biggest hacks for a feeding tube are tubey pads. These things here. Right now I'm using gauze with my J-tube just because the tubey pad doesn't fit that well underneath it. But I love having tubey pads. For some reason they work better than gauze for me, and they help absorb normal drainage from the stoma sites, and they just help keep the area clean and dry and prevent irritation. And these are my favorites right now. I just recently got them. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, zebra, and pink because it's my favorite color. And since I have 2 tubes, I asked for her to make like matching sets, and I got a ton of these. This is from So Not Loopy on Etsy. One of my biggest things with tubey pads is the buttons have to be able to come apart easily. I don't want to be fighting it when it's right next to my tube, and I love these. They're machine washable. I'll put a link to the shop in the description. Here is another set I have. It's really cute. They're foxes. Y'all know I have a bunch of tubey pads, but now when I buy them, I try to make the match because I have the 2 stomas, the 2 tubes. I am using gauze right now, like I said, with the J tube, but eventually we're switching the J tube, which is right now like a big dangling tube, to a button like I have in my G stoma, and I should be able to use tubey pads with that no problem. This is the gauze I use on my J tube right now. I love this stuff. My home health company supplies it. It's split gauze, so there's a slit down the middle. You can see like a little photo right there. And I don't only use this to support my J tube and keep it clean, but I also use it when I'm cleaning around the tubes in between showers and whatnot. So this stuff is awesome. Grip lock. I get asked about this a lot, and my home health company provides this as well. I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the white sticker I use, don't mind the saline flush, here. So if something gets tugged on my feeding tube, which happens all the time, it puts pressure here and not on my stoma, which would be very uncomfortable. And it's just a sticker in the back. And then this part Velcros open, and there's a sticker in the middle too. So you take the paper out, stick the tubing in, and close it. And this can last up to a week, but I change it every time I shower because I don't like it to be wet on my body. And this stuff, Unisolve, I actually got this off Amazon. This is like a magic little swab that takes off sticky residue. So EKG sticker stuff takes it off. The residue from the grip lock takes it off. When I change my port, I like to wipe with this before I start the sterile protocol and everything, because it gets all the sticky residue off. It's awesome. Feeding tube backpacks. These are useful not just for people like me who feed 24 hours or during the day, so when we need to be on the go, but also at night, because if I wake up in the middle of the night and I need to like go use the bathroom, I don't have to take the IV pole with me. I just take the backpack. This is a vibration backpack. I like it because when I do my infusions on the go, I can also run the infusion tubing through here and it hooks like right up to my port. But for the feeding tube accommodation, all I had to do was have a seamstress put in a clip at the top to hold the feed bag, and then the pump sits at the bottom. I have an extra clip on the side here so I can coil the excess tubing and keep it secure. And then there's a hole down here in the bottom where the tubing runs through to connect right up to my tube. And you can virtually do those accommodations to any backpack. I have another vibration backpack in a different pattern that I love. And then this backpack is by Vera Bradley. I got it specifically for my new J-tube surgery, kind of like a, I don't know. I just got it and I loved this pattern. I haven't had it accommodated yet though. It's just gonna happen whenever I get to the seamstress. Whenever that'll be, right, Harlow? But it's a really nice backpack and there's lots of room. It's for me, not for you. Oh, just bumped your nose, sorry. Well, you're so dang close to me, dog. You're Velcro. This is also from So Not Loopy, that Etsy shop. It's a roll-up organizer for feeding tube supplies. And there's this flap here. It comes with a button to secure it. And there's all these pockets. You can put like extra gauze, extra tubey pads, grip locks, syringes, flushes, whatever you need. And then it just rolls up. And I liked the pink fabric with zebra print is what I chose. It's pretty handy. I just thought of 2 more tips I want to share. 1, leggings. So I get a lot of abdominal pain and bloating and distension, and leggings are a great option. I have LuLaRoe leggings. I get a lot from Walmart, a lot from Lala leggings, and most of my leggings are actually gifts from friends. Like this one, which I love because it's pink and it has feathers and it's very comfortable. The second thing is my new Brave Soul blanket. So Brave Soul Blankets is a nonprofit organization that sends these awesome handmade blankets to warriors as a gift. And then they also sell blankets on their website to fund their project. Now, you may be wondering, how does this have anything to do with feeding tubes? Well, I have a lot of blankets that I love, and feeding tube formula does not come out of them very well. This blanket was with me in the hospital for my feeding tube surgery. I got a ton of feeding tube formula on it, and then we washed it and it came out beautifully. So that is a hack in my book. I am having a rough evening, unfortunately. I think I mentioned yesterday that I thought I was getting sick. I feel like my body is fighting it for once. Thank you, IVIG, because at this point, usually I at least have a severe sinus infection or bronchitis. But I don't. I'm just kind of congested here. My asthma is a little bit worse than usual. But this evening, my symptoms got a bit worse, and I started coughing and sneezing, which is extremely painful when you've just had abdominal surgery, but also when your stoma is expanding and stretching and tearing open. And the pain just got so unbelievably bad. I literally couldn't do anything for myself. My mom had to come over and help me just to get into bed. And thankfully, after laying completely still for over an hour, the pain is becoming more manageable, and I've stopped sneezing, and I did a breathing treatment to help with my coughing from my asthma. I am so glad that my surgeon could get me in tomorrow, and I am praying he can help find a solution for this issue. And then we also see my pain management doctor. I'm determined and ready to sort out some treatment plans, but for now I'm going to sleep. So with that, I will say goodnight, and thanks for joining us on our adventure.